Good morning. I hope everybody that listens is keeping well. I was sitting here listening and I came across these statistics and numbers, and I was thinking to myself, there's some truth to this, but I'm not going to take it, fully 100%, right? Statistics, graphics, computer models, etc., can be used conventionally in the short run, yeah, to make a point. But in the long run, it's not reliable. I would rather use intuitive reasoning. Yes, intuitive reasoning. Reading the room. That's intuitive reasoning. If you stay fixed in these statistics and computer models, they are nothing but a picture of time and space. But time and space is not a thing. It's not a thing. It's in constant becoming. Okay? Everything is in constant becoming. So it's only the spiritual that it's not in constant becoming. The spiritual just is eternal, immortal. It just is. But the material world is in constant becoming. So the picture or the graph that you took today, it's not going to be the same tomorrow. In the short term, you can, oh, this is what happened, in this 5 day period. But it doesn't mean it's going to be repeating. No, nothing repeats itself in this world. Literally. All right. Don't take the analogies too far, okay? I'm trying to speak in analogy here. So, anyway, the statistics was about demographics. They said the Gen Z had one out of three didn't see the light of day. They were asking in the street, why do you think that happened? Nobody could guess. One out of three go into those clinics that vacuum clean the insides. I think you know what I'm talking about. They vacuum clean literally the insides of people. And that's what happened to one out of three. I was reading, and I also heard this from other sources, that in the past, in a not so distant past, intercourse was considered a spiritual activity. It was taken serious, and every time a couple came together and practiced that activity, they were rehearsing. They were rehearsing. They were, practicing to stay fit. Why were they doing these rehearsals? Because one day they will channel the divine Eros. The divine Eros will then shoot the soul into the next generation, all right? There's literally a flash of light that happens in the inside, the moment of fecundation. There's videos you can see out there. There's this flash of light. Of course, modern scientists will explain it away, saying, oh, it's a chemical reaction, nothing special to see here. Bullshit. It's a flash of light. It's literally when the soul enters the new vessel. And they say it's the divine Eros that injects, this. Before intercourse, people used to pray. Yes, they used to pray to the gods, to the divine. And a thing that they also kept was records of who is getting married with who. Why? They were concerned about birth defects. Yes. End up organizing marriages, fixing marriages, so that consanguinity wouldn't happen. This is very important. Eventually, there's a book, like in all religions, like in all cultures, there's a book with the names of who's getting married with who. At the temple, So what? So that consanguinity doesn't happen. The moment consanguinity starts happening, IQ drops. And I'm using IQ as a Again, conventional term, because I don't believe in the way they do IQ's tests. I don't agree, but anyway, IQ drops, yeah, and birth defects start rising whenever people start tracking. Why? Everybody is looking for the best partner, right? The most handsome, the most physical, strong, and highly, everybody's looking at females inevitably will have a short, you know, like 10% of the whole village is going to be, very highly coveted people, men, and all women are going to want to have or, marry or sleep with them. So if you want to avoid consanguinity, you have to avoid what? Polygamy. In polygamy societies, the thing that they don't show you is the skeletons in the closet and the skeletons in the cellar. They have these people hidden. They have them hidden, and you can see in polygamous societies they are also low IQ. If you want to, if you want to see, if you want to have a glimpse of the levels of sophistication of a culture, all you have to do is look how they treat the elderly, how they treat the handicapped, how they treat, the physical deformities and birth deformities, how they treat them. You know, in a totalitarian regime, the thing that they hate the most, these technocrats, is handicap and old age. They hate them. So when they get into power, they facilitate, practices to remove them. You know, oh, there's a program. They will give you, some pills, and it's over. Euthanasia. What is it called again? There's a term for that. It's legal. Yeah. It's because totalitarian regimes they hate sickness, they hate weakness, they hate helplessness, they hate those things. So they target always the elderly, the the handicapped. They target them. They hate. You know why they hate? Because when you are in the presence of someone who's physically debilitated, it kind of brings humanity. It kind of grounds humanity. You know, it kind of puts things in perspective that you are not immortal. It brings humility into people, caring. So the people who are physically disadvantaged, or mentally disadvantaged, should be loved like anybody else. But totalitarian regimes, they don't like that. They hate weakness or old age. They hate diseases. When you see them claiming, "Let's outlaw disease. We are at war with disease. We are at," that's mental. There was some fanatic emperor. I can't remember right now, or have the source, but he outlawed death. He outlawed death. Yeah. Anyway. Um, I think I'm gonna shut up now. I've talked for almost 10 minutes. Have a nice weekend, and tell me what you think.